Hello and welcome. This will be my version of servicing a Shimano SPD pedal. They mostly have the same design, although this one here is a little bit different. You actually have a cap here on this side, which I just forced off, and it has a screw from the looks of it that's maybe on the interior to take it off. And here's some other SPD pedals I've just got laying around. This one here you'll see doesn't have that plastic Shimano type of lock nut. It just has a regular shaped nut. I think this one's a M540, and I think this is an XT clipless pedal from the looks of it. I think it is. So today we're going to open this one up. We're going to clean it and then re-grease it. First thing we need to remove is the plastic lock nut or lock ring that's here with the teeth. So you can either use the special Shimano tool for it, which is a TL-PD40. Otherwise, up until I bought that tool, I was pretty much using some adjustable pliers, such as these ones, and wrapping it around with some kind of rubber. That works as well. I'm going to use my Shimano tool for this though, to make it easier for me. On the other side, you're going to want to put it into a vise or something that holds this down properly. For the video, I'm going to be just using a wrench tightened up. So for this side, the sizing is 36. Well, you're going to need a very big adjustable wrench. Now, depending on what pedal you're going to be working on, the untightening will be done either clockwise or anti-clockwise. For this one, I'm going to be doing it anti-clockwise. In fact, it's written down on here somewhere the direction you need to be tightening, so you want to do the opposite to therefore undo it. So I've already cracked mine open. So you'll notice on this particular model, there's a type of plastic bushing with two teeth that sit into the actual pedal itself, which is not found on other pedals. So now we've taken out the main axe, and I can see on the interior that there's a Phillips screw at the back here, which was obviously to remove this clip. I'm going to slide off this plastic bushing thing, and now we're going to remove the lock nut and the cone that's holding the bearings. So to remove these, the bottom one on this version appears to be a number 10 and then a number, I think it's 7 for the lock nut itself. So easier will be to put this in a vise and then it will hold the whole axle down. I'm going to, for the video, put this on my Hosan pedal wrench. To take this off, you've pretty much got 2 or 3 options. You're going to need a wrench and a socket to be able to hold this down, and then to remove the top nut. And you're going to need that obviously to also retighten and adjust when we're putting it back together again. Otherwise, you'll need possibly this and an adjustable wrench that will work as well. I actually have the ridiculously overpriced Shimano pedal cone tool. I think this one's the PD 300, and this basically fits over both of the nuts at the same time, and you can adjust them. I didn't buy that for this for SPD pedals. I actually bought that for some older Shimano pedals where it's a lot harder to access this axle. Might be initially hard to remove. This will be anti-clockwise. And we're now going to take off the cone. Be careful here, if your bearings are dry, they will pop out, so you want to hold this upwards. A magnet here will be very useful. These ones, as you can see, have been quite nicely greased. So by using the cone, I've managed to hold them in place for a second while I work on the other ones, the bottom ones. I'm going to use an old magnet from a computer hard drive, and that should pretty much grab them all at the same time. Hopefully. There you go, they've all gone. And now we can grab the other ones as well. That should come off as well. There you go. And here's seal. So this pedals are quite well lubricated, but we're going to give it a clean anyway. And then I'm going to reapply some grease. There should be 12 ball bearings on each side of the cone, so 24 in total. Just to mention, not necessary though, but if you are going to replace your ball bearings, usually it's not really worth it on especially cheaper SPD pedals. It's worth getting grade 25 minimum. Don't forget to remove this plastic kind of spacer bushing. So on this part we're going to add some grease. You're going to want something fairly sticky to hold them nicely in place. I'm going to use this Motorex grease I've got, though you can use marine or I don't know, finish line grease, which I've also got now. I'm going to put a bit of grease on the seal and on the plastic nut. As I can see, there's wear on the bottom here. So I'm going to push the seal back in, push the spindle through. Yeah, I think that's in properly. I'm going to stick that other plastic part on the top as well. I can see from the rubbing here the ball bearings need to be roughly there. And that's 12. Okay, that's gone through. Now be careful to not have this slide up when you're holding it, otherwise you have to restart again and put the bearings back inside. So now we're going to put the top bearings on. There's going to be a little plastic cap that's going to go on top here. You can put it back on now. Once you've got that down, you can grab the cone nut and screw it back down. We can put the final lock nut on. You're going to need to adjust these two at the same time. This one's for locking, this one's for locking down the bearings. So we want that to be tight but not too tight, so you don't want any movement here, but you want this to be free. Right, so you're going to need 2 wrenches here or something to hold this one in place while you tighten the top one down. And here you can have another visual where you can do the same exact thing. So you're going to hold down the bottom cone nut, and here the lock nut, you want something to tighten that up, and you pretty much want to do it fairly tight, so you don't want this to undo at any point. It'd be better obviously in a vise where this is still when you're doing that. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. Take the pedal body now, and you're going to want to apply some grease on the interior. And so what's going to happen is that when you're going to screw down the axe, all this grease is going to pretty much fill up the remainder of the space. Right, so I'm going to start screwing this down. That needs to slot into those little slots that are on the sides while you're tightening this up. Okay, this one's tight. I'll take that off. Let's see how that's feeling. Okay, yeah, so I'm just working that in. There's no plate. Right, so I've now tightened that down to the max, and the pedals are nicely spinning. There's no plate. So there you go. I hope this helped you service your Shimano SPD pedal. And until next time, peace out.